This is the first video of a series of videos that is intended to show you all the functionalities of Solum, but in this one I want to start with setting up the device and also talking about performance and best practices, how you can make it as efficient as possible. After you download the device, you're gonna get a solum.amxd file that you can copy anywhere on your computer. In my case, this is in the Max for Life instrument folder. You can put it on a MIDI channel. So after you did it, it will appear. So Solum is a Max for Life instrument, which means it receives MIDI data. That's why you put it on a MIDI channel. And you can control the preset slots with MIDI notes. That's the MIDI data it can receive. After you open it up, you're gonna have two floating windows actually. One is the device and the other one the main floating monitor. You're able to close this window and open it up again with clicking at the bottom on the big logo. We are also able to resize the window by clicking to this free drop down menu in the corner. You can decrease and increase the size of it. You can make it up to 150% big to the original size, and the original size is relative to the resolution of your screen. So I just keep it big now. If you wanna know anything about Solum, I highly recommend you to download the manual that you can find on the website. And also, if you hover the mouse over anything, you're gonna see the description of every parameter in the help section of Ableton in the bottom left corner, like in most devices. I labeled absolutely everything, so you should be able to just have a explanation of all parameters. If you turn the device on with the big power button in the top center of the device, Solum will start to render. You can see this by seeing the numbers are changing in the middle of the device, which is a representation of how many frames per second is triggered by the rendering context under the hood. So this is 60 by default, but once you load videos in, you will see this number is dropping. And this is also an indication of performance. So let's check it out. If you load videos into the device, I recommend you to turn it off because it's more efficient in that way. So now I drop a folder into Solum and then names will appear. But I'm going to talk about loading files into Solum more from the second video. So now I'm turning it back and I can see the videos. And as you can see, the FPS value in the middle, which is the kind of like an indicator of performance as well, already jumped around 40 FPS. So normally, if I don't record the screen, it would be around 50 something. And what is very important to know is that performance is highly correlated to resolution. So if you want to increase performance, you can do it by using videos with lower resolutions, and in most cases you will not need high resolution videos. And if you want to use 4K, that's probably gonna cause some issues. So performance is highly correlated to resolution. Also, Solum is making most calculations on the GPU, so it's designed in a way that it's a very GPU heavy device, which is very good if you have a good GPU, because well, it's a graphical task that we are doing with Solum. But it also means that the CPU meter of Ableton is not really an indicator of performance, so you will not really see anything here when you will experience issues, for example performance issues, but this number will drop. So once it dropped below 25, for example, it basically means that you see less frames, or you will start to see less frames than your brain would see as a continuous video. Once you experience that, you will see the video lagging, Plus, you can also experience issues with on the UI. I recommend you to try to keep this number above 30 preferably, and then you should be fine with that. And how you can do that? You can either reduce the resolution of the video. Usually 720p is more than enough if you are VJing, for example, or even if you make content for the internet. I personally use HD mostly. Right now I'm running HD, and I'm running it on a VN1 laptop. So it's a MacBook Pro M1, the first generation. So this is around 2.5 years old. This computer is definitely not the most powerful one on the market, but it does the job. So it can have issues with it, to be honest, if I don't pay attention to making sure that doing everything to increase performance. But generally, I can say that this computer is enough to run Solum. What you can also do is utilizing AGP codec, which is supported by MaxMSP, and you also find a link to the AVF batch converter, which is a free converter software making AGP conversion. I recommend you to convert your files to AGP. It will make video playback way much smoother and more efficient. So especially if you want to play around with speed and position modulation, you want to use AGP. The other thing you need to understand is that Ableton is always going to prioritize audio tasks. So I highly recommend you not to use too many audio plugins when you're running Solum in your project. So don't open it with your music project, for example, with lots of plugins in it, because video playback will be completely put to the end of the priority list of Ableton. So it might not run properly. It also means that when you are using LFOs, for example, with Solum, the LFOs and envelope followers will reduce the performance of Solum. So the more you use, the more dropping in FPS you will experience. I can usually use one envelope follower and 2 LFOs with no issue, and I can map them to multiple parameters at the same time, because they all can be mapped to multiple parameters, and it works. One more important thing. So now if I load something else to the other side as well. So now what I did is loaded a 1:1 aspect ratio to the right side, and what I want to show you is that when you mix these files, what you will experience is that the sphere will be stretched out. The reason why it's happening is because the aspect ratio of the output video will be always defined by the left video player. So this is important to keep in mind, that the right one in the output image will always adjust its aspect ratio to the one that is coming from the left side. You can fix this issue by just simply scaling it back with the offset module on the video player. I also want to show you how you can synchronize the FPS value of the rendering context with the FPS value of the video file you are playing. So by this, you might be able to trigger the video less times than it's absolutely necessary. So let's say now if I click to the in1 button in the rendering section, I'm receiving the value of the video that is played, which is 30 FPS in this case, and it's synchronized with the FPS value that is triggered by the rendering context itself that is creating the real-time rendering, and it's happening even if you load a JPEG in it. So in this case, you need to understand that you are always rendering real time, even if you don't do anything, and it's always making a lot of calculations on your GPU. So you wanna make sure that you create as many FPS as absolutely necessary, and not more and not less. So in this case, it is exactly the number of the video file that you are playing. You can also set up a manual value by this V number above, You just click on it twice or change it manually, and then it will adjust. In this case, it's running 37, 38 FPS maximum, because I'm running two HD files on both sides, plus also recording the screen, and I don't have the most powerful GPU as well. And this is pretty cool because normally it would be still way above 40, and because the FPS value of the videos are 30, it means I'm still actually making more FPS or triggering more FPS than it's necessary to see the video the way it's intended to be seen. So I can just synchronize this value to the video, and whenever you change this file, it will change this value with it. Solum is designed in a way that when you click on another channel, it will behave like a VST, so it will just disappear. And then when you click back, it will appear back again, which is cool, but it also means that if you put an envelope follower on the channel that you definitely want to do, it won't receive audio from this channel because this is a MIDI channel, and you need to route the audio to that channel where Solum is. So for this, I recommend you to download the completely free modded envelope follower created by Dylan Boston. You can route audio into this device. So by this, you can achieve modulation very easily. He also has another one that is completely free. It's called Strange Mod. It is based on strange attractors that can look pretty cool with visuals. And you can map the free access of this graphics basically to 3 different parameters. So it's pretty cool with RGB values, for example. And you're gonna find the link below every video in the description. All right. Thank you so much for watching, and I'm gonna see you in the next one, in the second video, where we're gonna start loading files into Solum and start to go over all the parameters of the device. Thank you, see you in the next one.